Hello everybody, this is the Starving Martian, and today we are continuing our celebration of 200 years of Frankenstein. That's right, this month marks the 200th anniversary of the original publication of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, back in 1818. And so we are continuing our look at some Frankenstein figures to celebrate the occasion, and nobody else is celebrating this, guys. Nobody else seems to even notice, and so it's up to us to spread the word. But today we are looking at the Universal Monsters Bride of Frankenstein, April O'Neil, from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line, 1994. Alright, so let's take a look at the figure, her accessories, and then I'll give you a quick rundown on the character of the bride. But this is an excellent figure. I quite like her. Um, and I think she really captures the whole Bride of Frankenstein look really well. You know, the problem with the Bride of Frankenstein from a collector's perspective is they haven't put out very much in the way of Bride of Frankenstein figures, because unlike Frankenstein's monster, the Bride is exclusive to Universal, so only Universal can put out the Bride of Frankenstein. Um, and when they do, it tends to be larger collectors dolls sort of things, and even when they make smaller action figures, there's very little variety. It's just your standard Bride of Frankenstein figure, and so she always looks just like she did in the movie, which is fine. But when you want to mix and match a little, it's nice to have different looks for the character. So I do appreciate having April O'Neil here as the Bride of Frankenstein. So get in a little closer here. Alright, so you can see her arms are all bandaged up, as they should be. She's got that classic hairdo going on, the white streaks coming up. Alright, turn around a little. Okay, now aside from the yellow coloring and a little bit of leg sticking through here, you might be forgiven to not even know this was an April O'Neil figure. She has the turtle shell knee protector there. But yeah, the Ninja Turtle line was a very strange one, which is perfectly fine considering the source material. But the Ninja Turtles became everything by the end of the series. There was action figures of them as astronauts, and there was Star Trek versions of them, and yeah, they did put out one from the Universal Monsters. They've actually recently redone that. I don't know if it's you version set is complete. Now, as I said, the Bride of Frankenstein is unique to Universal. The bride, and spoilers for a 200-year-old book, but the bride herself doesn't actually appear in the original novel, although she is sort of central to the conflict. The monster demands a mate, um, and nobody likes the poor guy. He's hideous. He's made out of corpses, and so he's having a hard time fitting in. And so he demands of Dr. Frankenstein that he must make him a mate. He must make him a bride, somebody as hideous as himself, so that they can live together. And Frankenstein agrees and gets like 98% of the way done with the bride, but before he animates her, he changes his mind. He tears her apart. The monster witnesses this. Bad things ensue. It's not pretty. And Frankenstein's rationale for destroying the bride always seemed kind of weak to me. Like, he worries that the two of them might go off and have like monstrous children that would be powerful enough to take over the world. And I'm like, you're the one stitching her together. Just like leave out the reproductive system, you know? Tie her tubes or something. But now instead he tears her to pieces in front of the monster. Bad move. So the bride is not actually a feature in the book, but her presence is felt, and she is eventually brought to life in the classic Universal movie. the Bride of Frankenstein. Now, what I like about this figure in particular is that if you have the Frankenstein figure from Monster Force that I showed off last time, the two of them look excellent together. Look at that. And so I always display these two as a couple. Something about the coloration. Like I said, the bride here has the traditional April O'Neil yellow going through her outfit, but it actually works well with the coloration of the Frankenstein monster's suit there with his orangey yellow shirt. I just think the two of them look almost made for each other, and for all I know, they were. Here's the interesting thing. These come from two completely separate toy lines, all right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Monster Force, but they were both made by Playmates Toys and both put out in the year 1994. And half of me wonders if, somebody at Playmates wasn't thinking, hey, we got a monster figure out coming out. We got to get a bride, but there's no bride in the show. Well, we're doing monsters for Ninja Turtles. We could do something like that. Because these guys must have been hanging in the same toy aisle at some point in various stores throughout the nation. And I imagine walking down the toy aisle with Frankenstein in hand and seeing the bride and saying, yeah, I have to get that too. Or vice versa. And so, yeah, this is how I display my April O'Neil Bride of Frankenstein with her hubby there. And like I said, I just think they make a really, really nice looking couple. And I'm glad that my Frankenstein has, found somebody to share his, unlife with. So, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, there you are. If you missed his review, it's on my playlist. There's a Frankenstein playlist. Just click on my name. And now I believe that they've actually written their own vows. So let's take a listen. Fire, bad. Friend, good. Ah, that was beautiful. Alright, guys, this has been the Starving Martian celebrating 200 years of Frankenstein. So, guys, let me know, what's your favorite Frankenstein movie, story, book, comic, figure, whatever. There's tons of Franken merchandise out there. And we will catch up with you next week with more fun sci-fi material. But until then, catch you later, guys. Bye.